Decepticons, attack!
Hey everyone, Sal here. Today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Transformers Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, a figure that I have been very much wanting in my collection here because he just looks so cool. Even though I hated the Age of Extinction movie, I just thought this figure looked so good, and hopefully he lives up to the hype. So let's get him out of the box and check him out. Taking a quick look at the packaging, you can see it is the standard Studio Series Leader Class packaging that we are getting now in 2025. So, Transformers Studio Series, Transformers Age of Extinction, Optimus Prime from Hasbro. Nice render there of Optimus in his robot mode, in his truck mode. We got 44 steps for transformation. On the top of the box, we got Transformers Age of Extinction, Optimus Prime. On this side of the box, we just have the rest of the render. On the other side of the box, we have another glorious image of Optimus in his robot mode. And on the back of the box, we just have your standard product renders of him in his robot mode. A little screen grab from the Age of Extinction movie, as well as a brief bio. And that's basically it for the box. And moving right along, here we have Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, and at long last he is in my collection. I was so stoked for this guy when he was revealed about a few months ago. Even though I hated the Age of Extinction movie, I just could not wait to get my hands on this guy, and finally here he is in my collection, and this thing is awesome. So let's take a closer look at the details. We got some nice silver there for the front grille, silver for the bumper and headlights. Got some nice silver there for the sun visor. Got this lovely red flame detailing painted on there. Some nice silver for the rims. Got to get the nice smokestacks, which I really wish would have been painted. Yeah. And I actually like how cleanly the truck bed transforms. It's a pretty clean looking truck bed. So there's the top. There is the bottom. Pretty clean vehicle mode underside. He does have some pinned on wheels, so he does roll pretty nicely. And for some size comparisons, let's bring out the other Optimi. Here he is with 86 Prime, as per usual. Here he is with 38 Optimus Prime. Here he is with the old geezer himself, Earthrise Optimus Prime. Here's with Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. Here he is with Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. Now he just drops his axe. And here he is with Age of Extinction Galvatron. Still need to do a review on this guy. It's coming, I promise. And last but not least, here he is with Age of Extinction Grimlock. And I'll get into the scale more when we get to robot mode. As far as accessories go, he does come with quite a bit. He does come with his iconic Sword of Judgment, which is beautifully sculpted, I must say. That's some nice red paint there for the cross guard. But I do wish that this blade was decked out in silver. Paint is definitely an issue on this guy, and I'll show you more of that when we get to robot mode. He does come with the Vector Shield, which does have a hidden surprise that I will show off in robot mode. It does. Yeah, but again, the Sword of Judgment could have benefited from a good paint job. Comes with a sheath for the Sword of Judgment. And last but not least, he comes with his Energon blade. And this thing is beautifully painted in silver, unlike these two. Yeah, it does got got a little blue there for the peg, which is kind of an eyesore, but who am I to judge? Yep, so that's basically it for the accessories. And how you store all of this on the truck mode is you take the sheath and plug it into the truck into the trailer hitch. You take the sword, slide it through, and you take the shield, and that will just peg on top like that. And then you just take the energon blade and clip it on to the side there, and it can be a bit finicky because this thing is kind of tight. Yeah, so you just peg it onto there, and sometimes that will come undone. Yep. And there's all of your accessories stored in the truck mode. As far as compatibility with trailers go, he can tow the 86 trailer, which I do think looks quite nice on him. Yeah, I love the way the 86 trailer looks on this guy. Yeah, he can't really, and as far as the Earthrise trailer goes, he can't really tow that. It's a little small for him. So that's basically it for the truck mode. So now let's get this guy into his robot mode. Now the transformation on this guy is a bit of a workout. It's definitely a step up in complexity when compared to the 86 Prime. So let's just dive right in. So the first thing you're going to want to do is unclip these side sections here and fold them out. And when going back into truck mode, you're going to want to make sure that this double hinge is pushed back as far as it can go, otherwise things will not line up. And we are going to, I just knocked everything over. We're going to take the top section right here and just fold it back. And now we're going to work on the legs. So we are going to split the top section here, split the legs, and now we will work on the legs. So you're going to want to take this wheel section right here, fold it down, fold in the trailer hitch, fold in this section right here, and it will just peg into place like so. Rotate the foot around, and we can close all this back up. Take the roof, fold it down, and get stuff out of the way. Take the roof, fold it down, it will softly tab into place. And then this section can rotate, and it will all just collapse against the leg here. Yeah, so it's gonna tab in right in there, and then this will just tab into the side like so. We can then rotate the leg at the thigh, fold out the toe and heel spur, and there's a leg all done. So now let's do the same thing for the other leg. And then once you have the legs all done, we can just rotate this entire section 180 at this mushroom peg, fold down the loincloth there, and now we can start on the arms. So we can just take this section right here, just untab it and splay it out, and then we will work on the arms. So this section right here will just untab like so. This arm will untab and swing out like so on this double hinge. Then we will take this panel right here, and it can be a bit finicky, so take this panel right here, fold it up, and it will just collapse in. There we go. And then we can take the arm and just rotate it at the bicep there, and then fold that into place, and that's an arm all done. So let's do the same here for this arm. Just take that, fold it out, rotate at the bicep there, then take that panel and just fold it. And just take that panel right there and fold it in. And there we have his arms all done. So now let us work on the upper body here. So we're going to take these two sections right here. They will just unclip and swing it down like so. You're also going to want to take this section right here and just fold it up. And then untab this section right here, swing it out. Take these wheel sections right here and they will just tab into place. Fold it down the side skirts. And then this is where things can get a little tricky. So you're going to want to have the arms in place first. Then you're going to take the ab section right here, just close it down, or you're going to want to make sure that the backpack is lined up. Then all of this will just tab into place like so. So you got some various tab slot connections right there, and that will solidify the chest section there. And the last thing you're going to want to do is we're going to spin around to the back, take the backpack, rotate it around, fold up this panel here, fold out the door panels, fold in the front grille, collapse this all against the back, take the door panels and just fold them in half, and then we just take the door sections and they will just clip into the back like so and solidify all that. And finally, you can take this panel right here and fold it against the back. And after you have done all that, you will have Optimus Prime in robot mode. And sculpting wise, he's a good figure. So let's just take a closer look at the head sculpt there. A very nice head sculpt there. We got some nice metallic blue there for the forehead there, some nice blue for the eyes, some nice metallic blue for the face paint, and unpainted gray plastic for everything else. Yeah, this guy needs a good paint job so very badly. This guy could have benefited from like a good like silver paint job. I think like what they could have done is they could have bumped this guy up to a commander class, could have refined the engineering a bit, because the engineering's not perfect. The engineering's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not perfect. So they could have bumped this guy up to a commander class, refined the engineering, and give him a nice paint job. So yeah, but still, he's a nicely done head sculpt there in terms of sculpting. It's nice smokestacks there. It's nice red there for the pecs. It's gold for the abs. Yep. And then moving on down, got some nice blue paints. This is one of the things this is the one thing of the engineering that really bugs me. I don't mind fake parts. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't mind that these smokestacks are fake. But what I do mind is that you can see the real ones on the legs. Wish they would have found a better way to hide these. It just breaks the illusion a bit. But yeah, as far as articulation goes, the head is on a ball joint. This will wiggle around. You can't really look up or down. Head can't really do a full 360 because of the collar. Arms can rotate to do a full 360. They can move in and out. This shoulder pad is on a separate hinge. Does have bicep rotation. Does have a double jointed elbow. Does have wrist rotation. The hands can open and close. He does have waist rotation. The legs can move forward that far. Back, not very far to the backpack. Outward, they can do the full splits. You got thigh rotation, which on mine is super duper snug. Got some super duper snug thigh rotation. Yeah, it does have 90 degrees of bend at the knee, which is surprising given all the kibble on his legs. And as far as the feet go, the feet can't really move up or down. You do have an ankle pivot, and due to transformation, you do have an ankle swivel. So yeah, posability, he does have like some decent posability for a figure of this engineering, but I do wish that arm was on a butterfly joint so you could get some more dynamic poses with the sword. And speaking of the sword, if you want him to hold the sword of judgment, you are gonna just open the fingers and take the sword, and it will just clip in to his hand there, and that will just close like back up. On mine, the sword is tighter in the left. Yeah, I just had to make sure that was the left hand. I get that mixed up sometimes. On my copy, the sword is tighter, has a tighter grip in the left hand than it does in the right hand, so which is kind of unfortunate. And as far as the shield goes, it can peg onto his arm. And as for that surprise that I mentioned earlier, the shield can split apart on some very tight 5mm ports to reveal a hidden blaster. And that's really cool. Another cool thing about the sword is it can split in half, and this is a 5mm port. So if you do have any figures with 5mm hands that do not have opening and closing fingers like Optimus do, you can give them the sword. And I'm just going to demonstrate here with Fentanyl Prime. We're just going to give him the sword. Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. We're going to just demonstrate here with Fentanyl Prime. Just take the sword there and just have him holding the sword. And there we go. And then he can hold the sword. But, of course, Fentanyl Prime is not worthy to hold the Sword of Judgment because he's a big traitor. And if you bend the arm forward at the wrist, he can hold his Energon blade like that, or you can also have him holding it in his hand here because it's a 5mm port. And then if you have Age of Extinction Galvatron, you can recreate the "You have no soul" scene from Age of Extinction. Now for some size comparisons. Here he is with Age of Extinction Galvatron, and these two scale quite nicely together. And I really hope that they end up redoing Lockdown, because the original Studio Series Lockdown is not the best in terms of scale with this guy. Here he is with Earthrise Prime. Here he is with Bumblebee Movie Prime. Here he is with Rise of the Beasts Prime. Here he is with 86 Prime, as per usual. And finally, here he is with Grimlock. And yeah, they look good together, but the scale is not perfect. So I do really hope that somebody will come out. I do know there's the Black Mamba version, but like I cannot get a hold of that for the life of me. But I do hope that somebody will come out with an upscaled version of this Grimlock to scale with this Optimus Prime, because that will just look so dope. And to get Optimus back into truck mode, so what we're going to do is we're going to spin around to the back, unfold this panel right here, take the door panels and just unclip them like so. We're just going to take the door panels and unclip them from the sides of his back and swing them out. I want to take this section, fold it up, fold out the front grille, and then we're going to take this entire section right here and rotate it around on this mushroom peg. Take the doors, fold them down. We're going to take this panel right here and fold it down, and there's a tab slot connection right there, so that will just feed into there. And that is the entire front of the truck. And then we're just going to have it display his arms out, and then we're going to untab the abs section, and you're going to want to make sure you clear the collar as well. Fold all this up so you can swing all this out, and then take the side skirts, fold them up, and then untab these panels like so, and they will just swing up. Then you're going to want to rock all this back, and you're going to want to make sure that this round section here fits into this divot like so. Then we're going to take the abs and just fold them behind the chest, and that will snap into place. All this can fold up, and then the sides right here will just tab into the front of the truck. So there you have the front of the truck all done. And now we're going to come to the arms. So the arms, you're going to want to have the arms situated like this. You're going to want to rotate at the bicep. You're going to want to take this panel right here. It will split down the middle and fold out. You're going to want to bend it backwards at the elbow. There's a tab slot connection right here on the forearm. And you're going to want to take the shoulder pad and just fold it down, and it should just, and if you have everything lined up correctly, it does take a bit of finagling, but it should tab it into place like so. Then we shall do the same for the other arm. And then just fold all this out. There we go. Take the arm, fold it down, rotate out to the bicep, fold it back, fold that in, tab it in, my bad. Take the shoulder pad, fold it down, and tab it in. And then the arms can just join together at that tab slot connection right there. And then you can just tab everything into place, completing this front part of the cab here. And once, yep, and all of that should seat itself into place like so. I'm going to take his loincloth. It will fold up and tab into place. And then rotate the legs 180 at the waist. And there we have the entire front half of the truck fully complete. Then we are going to want to take these sections right here, just fold all of this out and shift it out. You're going to want to rotate the leg at the thigh. I'm going to fold this down, which can then collapse the feet, rotate them around, and all of this should just swing out like so. I'm going to take this section right here, fold it out, and that is one leg all done. And you're going to want to do the same thing for the other leg. And then once you have both legs transformed the same way, you're going to want to interlock the truck bed at these tabs right here. And then what you're going to want to do as well is lock these two sections together as well. They should just clip together in the middle there. There we go. And then just make sure all of this is straightened out. Sorry, Sky. There we go. So then once all of this is straightened out, we can then bend it forward, and it should just clasp over the top like so. And then you're just going to want to make sure you're just going to want to tab it in like so. And then make sure all of this is lined up just right. And that should look like that. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is bend these sections back on that double hinge. There's a tab slot connection right there. And this front section will just clip in. And then all of the same steps on the other side. And once all is said and done, there we have Prime back in truck mode. So there we have Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, and he is a awesome figure. Despite the lack of paint and the engineering being not perfect, he's a great figure, and I would totally recommend picking him up. And yes, I do know he is from Age of Extinction, my most hated Transformers movie, but I do not care. I love this guy so freaking much, and I would definitely recommend to pick one up for your own collection, because you will just have a blast messing with this guy. So yeah, that was Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, and I will see you guys later.